What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back to another Tuffy Talk live show. You got myself, Layton Smith, Carson, Michael, Greg Leg, all of us here today, excited as we are once again 7 days closer to the start of the NC State football season. But also, too, as well, NC State athletics in general is going to be rocking and rolling here as well. And hey, we're 9 days away from camp starting, actually, even as well, which is even more exciting. So, Greg, how many minutes are we away now?
I don't know. It's like 37 days. That's where I'm at with it. I don't have the number handy with me. It's on my phone. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
I was gonna say, because you don't have the little countdown on your phone with the minutes and seconds and everything?
I do. Yeah. As soon as baseball season goes on, I turn that on. So
let's go. I love it. Well, cool. Well, so with that being said, if you've been with us before, you know the drill. If you haven't been with us, any questions, comments, concerns, requests, whatever you got for us, put them in the chat and we will get to them here today. But with that being said, need to start off obviously with the Pac-9 side, as definitely Greg loves starting off with that specifically. And I don't know if he would even let us start anywhere else. But first of all, Greg, before we get to it, since you go to the side, what'd you do to your face there, my man?
Well, I had an ingrown hair, so yeah.
That's the worst. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. I thought you were doing I thought you were working on maybe like a NC State tattoo on your face or something like that.
No. So. The Mike Tyson.
That's right. So, but yeah, so getting right to it. So, I mean, two big commitment, or actually, I think was it 3 commitments today in particular? I know we had Jack Rostock. That's one, and then
that was yesterday.
One. Oh, that was yesterday. Okay. Yeah. So take us through, Greg. So I mean, obviously a JUCO infielder transfer, Jag Rostock pitcher, and then one other guy.
I can't. They're well, yeah. So we only have one official today, unless something happened in the last hour. Did something else happen in the last hour?
I don't think so.
Anyone?
Not that I'm aware of, but here, give me 1 second. But take us through the one here today, and then let me double check.
Yeah. So let me just pull up his name, and I have his stats. So he's originally started at Dallas Baptist, and then went JUCO, and now then he committed to Arkansas, and now he committed to State. And his last name is Sherman. I think his last name is Sherman. Or I think it's Sherman Johnson.
Sherman Johnson, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to go off the top of my head. So yeah, he just committed about a couple hours ago. I think probably like 4 or 5 hours ago. And then we have a couple guys that I won't name here, but we have a couple of guys on the hook right now. Some power 4 guys, both positional players that are really close to committing. Like probably anytime between now and the next 48 hours. Could be even tonight. I don't know. But it sounds from what I hear from folks that I know within the inn that they are pretty much good to go. We're just waiting for announcements. And again, not our place to do those types of things.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because Sherman, he actually was committed to University of Arkansas, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
JUCO guy had a speed guy. He has a little bit of pop, but remember, all the numbers I'm about to give you are JUCO numbers, so take those for a grain of salt because those may not translate accordingly. But he batted .319, had a .425 on base percentage, had 9 home runs, 51 RBIs, and 21 stolen bases. So if nothing else, the speed should translate to the next level. And he is a shortstop by trait. But one of the things that I wanted to note that all the guys that we're starting to kind of look at and pull in, very versatile guys. So that's something to be excited about. So if things don't work out for one player, you can slot guys around. And God forbid, if you have injuries, you can slot folks around. So there's a couple of dudes that I'm excited about if it comes to fruition. But yeah.
Well, and
then
a couple
the other
other
guy was a pitcher.
Well, and a couple other background things about Sherman as well. Coming out of high school, he was a Georgia Class 5A Player of the Year, and was actually the number 7 shortstop recruit in the Peach State, Georgia. And originally played at Dallas Baptist University. And during this past season in the JUCO World Series, he hit .333, 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 6 RBIs, and 9 runs scored. So, definitely love to see even at, even though it's still JUCO World Series, not, the College World Series, to still see that even in a high pressure situation, him be able to put out and, have great stats, .333. Love to see that, the guy in a must perform, opportunity that he got the job done. So love to see that. Go ahead, Greg, take us on to our next one.
Yeah, so I don't have his information. I'm sorry. Do you have his information in front of you? I just know he's a pitcher.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2026 right-handed pitcher, based out of Florida, North Broward Prep.
Yeah, I think it's Parkland, Florida.
Correct. Yep. So, I'm actually pulling up his perfect game right now, but I mean, here's my thing. I mean,
those low 90s. I think he's hit like 92, 93. That much I know. I don't. Again, sorry, I'm having like all kinds of problems and feedback, so I'm sorry if I'm talking over you. Like I feel like I have a lag on my end.
You're good.
But so a high school prep guy. So we'll see what happens. Be an incoming freshman the year after.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not. I'm more focused on the guys that are going to be here next year. Going to be impact guys for next year. But it is a nice start to a nice continuation. And now he's not the first to commit, but yeah.
Well, right now he's ranked in the top 60 players coming out of Florida right now, and top 15 in 3A for batting average. So, a great prep guy that still, just like you were saying, Greg, is a year away. A lot can happen. So we'll see. But definitely love to just see movement, especially in the off season. But obviously, I think everybody's gonna be talking about Sherman. Again, being a guy formerly committed to Arkansas. Definitely pulling a guy from a school like that is always a good thing for baseball. But also too at a position that we are in desperate need of, which is more proven-esque infielders. That can swing the bat. I mean, I think that if you were to mark on the list, number one priorities that hitting would be at the top of that list for sure for this upcoming season. So love to see that. Now, Greg, what are so I mean, like obviously you don't have to necessarily give away anything about the players that are committed, but what would you say kind of are kind of the leftover check marks off the list for Elliott Avent this offseason?
Yeah, I still need that power bat. You
Yep.
you have and one of these guys could check that box off if it happens.
Good.
The left side of the diamond is what we really need to focus on, with left field losing Josh Hogue, and then shortstop losing DeCrisio, and then third base, everybody that basically played third base last year is gone except Novi. So you
Basically.
need to figure that out as well. And one of the transfers would fill the left side of the infield, and I'll just kind of keep it as vague as I can. But again, very versatile. And then the one guy, I don't know how he would fit yet, but he's a good. He would be a good ad. And I think some of these guys, even if they don't pan out as starters, you at least have some depth pieces, because we needed those. And I think if these two commit, I think we have 2, maybe 3 spots left. I was going to do my math on the positions left, and I would assume maybe 1 position and 2 pitchers, because I still think we need a little bit of pitching depth.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, especially after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. So Carson, what are your thoughts on that? Anything else you would add to the Elliott Avent checklist this offseason?
Well, this move adds depth to the shortstop position, which is really good. I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say. I think Greg pretty much said it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think they're just bringing in, bringing in bodies right now and just kind of letting them fight it out for who's going to win the spot. I think you've got a lot of good options now, especially when you don't have the money. At least publicly, doesn't seem we have the money to just go out and land anybody we want in transfer portal. So you kind of have to pick and choose your spots, and a good way to do that is bring in multiple guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we did free up some money, though. Keep in mind, we did free up some money with Sosa leaving, so there is some cash there. Again, don't know the numbers, but if I had to guess, it's a nice little chunk of change that you could spread out either through a couple of guys or one big fish.
Well,
I think the big thing is just bringing in guys for competition, and again, the guys that we're bringing in are very versatile. So you can, try to plug them in a couple of different places, especially if one guy doesn't pan out. And so I do like that. That's what kind of this staff is focusing on. And then with this cycle too, they're bringing in a lot more. Like, I feel like they're doing an even bringing guys in that not only has potential, but also has proven themselves at a top level whereas a couple, like the last 2 cycles, it feels like more bringing guys in with potential. Like last year, we brought a lot of JUCO guys in. Now this year, we've only brought in, I think, just the 1. So that's good to see that we brought in a lot of upper tier guys, because these 2 guys, like I said, if they come, they're power 4 guys as well. So you've got at least 5 or 6 power 4 guys that you have brought in.
Yeah. So anything else in particular, Greg, you want to touch on with baseball? Otherwise, I'm ready to jump to ACC Media.
No, we can jump. More to follow next week. I'm hoping we have, like I said, a couple names to talk about next week.
Absolutely. I love it. So obviously, today being first day with ACC Media Day, was excited to, once again have another, I guess, example of us being one day closer to NC State football getting started here with, obviously ACC Media Day happening usually about a week ahead of camp starting, and that pretty much lines up here. So, Michael, any big takeaways from today? Obviously, you don't have every single team there today. NC State wasn't there today, but any big takeaways from today that you felt like? We'll get to Jim Phillips, obviously, with his 2 main announcements, but anything else in particular?
No, that was at least that I paid attention to today. It was pretty much, I kind of read the recap on Phillips's press conference. So I mean, that was pretty much what I saw from today.
Yeah, Carson, what about you?
Pretty much the same as Michael.
Were there teams
Yeah.
I didn't think they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yes,
Yeah, the
they
biggest
do.
soundbite that kind of came out was Lashley at SMU kind of calling out the SEC top half for, I think his comment was
that's
like
right.
only 6 teams from 1964 won the
Yeah,
championship.
yeah,
And I assume he was talking the SEC championship, not the national championship.
Yeah, I think so.
There wasn't. I just saw that kind of pop up in my feed, and I didn't really investigate, but I think that was kind of what he was alluding to.
Yeah, I did see that quote, but again, kind of forgot.
Yeah, that was
which teams went on today?
SMU, Stanford. Those were the two that really. I mean, first of all, can we talk about Frank Reich being the head coach at Stanford?
Yeah, that's
I
crazy
totally
too.
didn't even catch that when it
Wild.
happened. Like
Wild.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense because he was Andrew Luck's quarterback coach, I think, or offensive coordinator when he was with the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
He was the head coach for a little bit, I think. He was definitely head coach of the Colts. I don't know if it was during Andrew Luck's phase.
No, I believe it was when Phillip Rivers was there.
It was, yes.
Yeah. By the way, we can talk about that here in a little bit too. Him officially retiring.
Who retiring? Sorry,
Phillip Rivers.
Oh yeah.
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 As a
No.
Charger.
Well, and I saw a quote here today that was saying that and it was an ESPN commentator was saying that Phillip Rivers should go down as the greatest Charger quarterback of all time. Which, I mean, I don't have a full list of Chargers quarterbacks in front of me, but I mean,
Dan Fouts would be probably the big one.
I think he's up there. He's got to be up there just for longevity.
Yeah.
You had.
Well,
here's something that people don't know. I think somebody can fact check me really quick, but I think Joe Namath actually played for the Chargers back in the day, but like at the very end of his career. I think. But yeah, I think they've only really had like 2-3 really good quarterbacks.
Sorry,
in
I
the
think
history.
it was
Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Of course, I'm having all kinds of Justin Herbert. Well, that's a whole thing, and that that you could talk about with that top 10 quarterbacks list of Justin Herbert being number 7 when doing absolutely nothing so far. Dan Fouts was there for a while. Johnny Unitas was there.
There's Unitas I'm thinking about.
4 games. I
think it's Unitas.
Let's see here.
I think it's Rivers for sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only Ryan Leaf, just that big timer. Jim Harbaugh, Eric Kramer.
Oh.
Yeah. Doug
Drew Brees,
Flutie for 16 games. Drew Brees, 16 games. Sorry, no. Sorry.
I think it's
three
definitely
seasons.
Rivers.
It's either Fouts or Rivers.
Yeah.
Fouts is a Hall of Famer, so
Yeah. But
did anyone someone dropped a really good stat with gosh, my lag is horrible tonight, guys. I'm so sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
Did anyone see the stat that got dropped with like the 2004 class with Rivers, Manning, and Roethlisberger?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
what about
Phillip
him?
Rivers? Basically, other than the Super Bowls, his numbers are like right there, if not better than all both of those combined.
Well, and that's why to
so
me,
the question
like,
becomes: is he a Hall of Famer?
Well, exactly, and I think that I think with NFL quarterbacks, like we always look at championships. I mean, you look at Brady, 7 championships, like that. That's where it kind of all lives and breathes. Is with the Super Bowls, and so being that Phillip never even got to a Super Bowl, even though he played the championship game with a torn ACL, torn Achilles, something like that.
ACL.
Yeah. So, and also, I mean, it's not like he ever got any support besides one all-time, great, tight end for sure. Got to give love and respect there, but never really had a great supporting cast.
But he had LT as a running back. Like it's crazy. Like they just didn't have.
He always had that one guy, but just never had the defense. Yeah. No, I mean, so I take that back in terms of just never really had. Let's put it this way: he was never playing with today's Philadelphia Eagles. He never had a Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. He never had anything close to that. So, you know,
did LT and Gates play on the same teams? I feel like they did.
I would think so. I mean, Gates was there forever, so
Yeah.
I think that it was a crossover towards the end of LT and towards the beginning.
It was just the defense, man, and then they had some bad luck, a couple bad luck games, and then they got rid of Schottenheimer, which I think they never should have gotten rid of him. So they just didn't put a defense around him to where, you know, because again, there's a reason they say defense win championships.
That's right. Yeah. So, but it does make me curious though of like, what was going to happen with Rivers, and him waiting to officially call a retirement like this. And because I saw too, like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he technically had retired, but he wanted to fully retire as a Charger. Am I correct with seeing that?
I don't think he had officially.
Like there wasn't a shot of him coming back. He wasn't just sitting around waiting for the Steelers to call him or something, right? Yeah,
I don't think so.
He also his best teams was also like the height of the Patriots dynasty too. So it's like
and you can sprinkle in the Colts in there too.
Colts, let's see. Playoffs, so 2006 playoffs, they lost in the division round of the Patriots. 2007 was the year they made it all the way to conference championship, but again lost to the Patriots.
Yeah. So I mean, but again, it's so that's why I think, and also too with Manning being a Manning, that's gonna, give him a stereotypical bump for sure. So, but in my opinion, totally probably a little bit biased for sure. Phillip Rivers is more deserving even than Manning, but also too Manning being the Brady Slayer, that's going to go with his story as well.
And doing it twice,
doing it twice, being the kryptonite. So,
and I think if you put, and again, it's easy to do this in hindsight, but I think if you put Rivers on those Giants teams, I actually think they win more than 2 championships. Their defense was that good. I don't know. It's easy to say that. It's easy to just throw out that wild, comment or hot take or whatever. But I honestly, if you look at the numbers, Manning was a good quarterback, but he wasn't elite by any stretch of the imagination. But he was above average. But I think if you just give Phillip Rivers that talent with those defenses that the Giants had, they would have probably won at least. They would have won at least the 2 that they won, and maybe 1 or 2 more. I just feel like that would be a thing.
When I also just heard more stories about Phillip Rivers as a leader than I have Eli Manning as well. So I just feel like that a Michael Strahan plus Phillip Rivers led team, like that would be a very all-in team for sure. And again I don't know, just for me, like Phillip Rivers with his smack talk, man, the New York fan base would have been all over that, man. They would have loved the heck out of that. So I think that would have been a difference too. But hey, we all know the story of that whole soiree, of that draft class. So but and also too, again, it goes back to, where does Roethlisberger fit in that? Is he more deserving than Rivers?
Yeah. If you compare, I just have these stats. I can't find the one that had Roethlisberger into it, but if you look at a head-to-head with Eli and Rivers is better than in every category when it comes down to passing yards, passing TDs, completion percentage, passer rating, interceptions, and Pro Bowls.
Mm-hmm. When it just goes to again, I mean, Roethlisberger,
it's not even close, by the way.
Yeah,
it's not even close. Like, he threw for almost over 7,000 yards more. That's basically 2. And I don't know games played. I wish they had the games played here. But like, his passer rating was 11% higher. His completion percentage is over 5% higher, or 4.5% higher. His passing touchdowns is like 60 more. The stats aren't even close.
Yeah. So, but time will tell, I guess. But I just hope we have the Roman Gabriel for Heisman Twitter page. We have the Torrey Holt for the Hall of Fame Twitter page. So I just hope we're not having to add a Phillip Rivers for Hall of Fame Twitter page as well to that.
I think he'll be in it even without the Super Bowls. I think it's just
Marino.
the stats are too crazy.
Totally Marino.
Yeah.
I mean, Marino has better stats. I'm not comparing Marino and Rivers, but I mean, the precedent is there. There's plenty.
He's a poor man's Dan Marino.
You don't have
for sure.
to win the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Like, the comparison would be like, especially within his own organization, if you compare Dan Fouts, and again, different errors, even though like that offense that Dan Fouts played under Air Coryell, again, way before your guys' time, but that revolutionized the NFL for passing. Like, that definitely changed it. So if there's anyone you can compare him to, would be Dan Fouts, because it's the same organization, and Dan Fouts is in the NFL Hall of Fame. So I think you could maybe do a comp there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that honestly, I mean, the fact that Rivers was, known as being one of the all-time and will go down as being one of the all-time trash talkers. I mean, I feel like that's honestly going to help him a little bit, with this case, because he's just so memorable. You're not going to forget him for that. And his videos,
I think that definitely helps him. Yeah. Being something unique.
All that, his mic'd up videos will go down as probably the greatest mic'd up videos in NFL history. I don't know how it honestly gets any better. So, all-time great for sure, much deserved. And
I mean, he should go in the having kid Hall of Fame.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, you got your 2 Super Bowls, but I got enough kids to field a baseball team. All right, so
I got enough kids. If my money runs out, they can still support me because they all just need to get a job.
Exactly. Yeah, but Michelle said it best. If it's way overdue for us to get some NC State players besides with Coach Bill Cowher. Get some more NC State representation in there.
Yeah, so. I know they. I hope it doesn't take 5 years for Torrey Holt to get in, but I would love for them to maybe go in. I know they didn't play together, but that would be kind of cool if they could go in around the same time. But yeah, I think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. And that's not even the homer in me. I probably would love to pull up the quarterbacks that are kind of coming up or kind of waiting on the edge of the Hall of Fame. It's just how little I keep up with the NFL. Roethlisberger and Manning are not in the Hall of Fame yet, correct?
I don't think so, but I don't think they've been retired long enough.
Correct. That's what I was thinking. So they should clear. The point is they should clear before he's due to go in or be eligible for enshrinement.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know of any other really outstanding quarterbacks that are kind of just hanging around waiting to maybe get the call.
Tom Brady.
So that would go in his favor. The quarterbacks seem to get more love in those votings than other players. They just, naturally draw the attention of the voters.
Yeah, I'm still sitting here though, and I'm sure Greg, you would agree with this being a Tempe Buck. But I mean, could they just forget the rule when it comes to Tom Brady? Just go ahead and put him in, man. Like what are we waiting for? Like, I get it. Yes, you have to wait a certain amount of years, but dude, I mean, dude's the GOAT. Like, put him in. Let's go. So,
you should be able to have a special rule. Like the commissioner can come in and veto I think it's a 5-year rule or whatever it is.
Don't even let that one voter be like an idiot or a jerk. Like the Mariano Rivera, case where the one voter said no to him in the Hall of Fame to prevent him from being a unanimous Hall of Famer. Like, don't even give that option. Just nope, Hall of Famer, GOAT, put him in there. So
go ahead.
Eli was actually eligible this year, but didn't make it. Yeah,
interesting.
Ooh,
I mean, he will. It's just first ballot.
But that's the thing, right? That stipulation, like who truly is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Roethlisberger is eligible
Eli is
in
not that.
2027.
Okay, so 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, you should clear both Manning, Roethlisberger, and Brady before Rivers comes up for. So real quick, 8-time Pro Bowler. Now I think that's that was when Pro Bowls actually kind of meant something. Like now, it's not like now where Oprah hands out Pro Bowls to everybody. You get a Pro Bowl, you get a Pro Bowl. Like I think that's a legit thing. One-time comeback player of the year. He has no NFL MVPs, which might be a kind of a ding, if you will. His record, his passing yards all time is 6th. I mean, that alone right there screams Hall of Famer, top 6 all time.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He's top 10 in wins as a quarterback. He's at number 10. His completion percentage is 21st, so that's a little iffy. But his touchdowns is 6th overall. He's got 209 interceptions. They don't have where that ranks all time. His passer rating is 18th all time, and he had 29 fourth quarter comebacks, 35 game winning drives. Now he was 5-7 in the playoffs, but you already mentioned that, Michael. It was against Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Right.
And he's 13th all time in passing yards per game at 260 yards.
And as far as I'm aware, he didn't have any off field issues or anything like that.
No, he's too busy making kids.
Right, exactly. So
chasing kids around.
Not to necessarily say that that's necessarily a part of the criteria officially, but if Terrell Owens gets held out, then
well, there is that. I mean, there's the voters, because it's media, and there's guys that definitely hold grudges,
Right.
so that's a valid point.
Yeah.
Well, like when T.O. got held out for a few years, like everybody was losing their mind, being like, okay, the only reason he is not in is because of the off the field stuff, even though officially it's not in the bylaws, but you still say yes or no depending on what you want, but technically, so yeah. But again, I mean, so anyway, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, obviously you talk about from a leadership standpoint, from a memorable standpoint, like Philip Rivers checks all those boxes, so I
that's a big debate today though here on Twitter. Is he a Hall of Famer? Like it's a massive conversation. I'm just kind of going through with Philip Rivers as a thing, and man, every other tweet is like, is he a Hall of Famer? He is a Hall of Famer. Should he be a Hall of Famer? Like it's insane, like how much they think of him.
I think he will be, but probably not first ballot. Kind of like if he lies not getting in with 2 Super Bowl rings, it's I think they changed the criteria and it makes it harder to get in first time. Anyways, so
yeah, I mean, I truly do think it's closer to the line than it is closer to a definite yes. It's definitely on the cusp for sure. It's definitely going to be a line drawer for sure. So
that's gonna be a highly debated one for sure when those people get in the room and start talking him. I honestly I figure like probably the 3rd or 4th time is when he'll actually get in. But again, it's not about him, because you're not voting for a quarterback per se. It's the whole body of the people that are up for the vote, and just depends on who you're going up against, right? If you're going up against some real dudes, because I feel like that's what's keeping Torrey Holt from not getting elected, which is still wild in my eyes. Like, how does Sterling Sharp get in before Torrey Holt?
Yeah,
no answer for that. But
there's all kinds of conspiracies there with that for
sure. But the point is he's not going up. They don't put it's not like the All-Star game where you put in one pitcher, one right fielder, one left. Like it's everybody that's up in that class. So that could be a sticking point for him as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, you start with the fact that literally his team has his number retired, and then you work your way up from there. Like, that in my opinion is like, okay, how can an NFL team really have your number retired, but he's not even in the Hall of Fame yet? Like that's just like the baseline. Like, I'm not even getting to the stats. I'm not getting to the Super Bowl ring. Now I get it, Greg, for sure. Like, I'm not.
Well, I'm just using the Bucks. The Bucks have plenty of guys they have their retired, because we sucked for so long. But there's plenty of guys that have their number retired with the Bucks and will never make the Hall of Fame. So the
right.
Well, different.
And again, not saying that by itself deserves a Hall of Fame, but saying that's the plate. Now add the stats, add the Super Bowl ring, add one of the greatest, offenses, of the era. Like, like he should be in there. So
I'm with you.
And the hand, right? I mean, everybody's going to remember the hand, right? So, again, we go back to memorable. So, all right, y'all. So I want to jump into AC Media Day here.
We got derailed there.
I know.
That's okay. It's a fun one. So Carson, man, we'll start with the first one. As Rusty says it right here. No rushing the field this year, Greg.
I'm
Big
retired,
money
man.
fines. Greg is full on retired, but Commissioner Jim Phillips made two big announcements today. The first one being that ACC schools will be subject to fines for court or field stormings. That's court or field stormings.
Mhm.
It'll be $50,000 for the first fine, $100,000 for the second, and then $200,000 for the third. Now, I mean, first of all, I'll say I'm assuming more than likely what that means is over an athletic season. Did anybody else catch that? It's just for the football
I think
or
it's
just basketball? No. But I'm saying like for first, second, third, it's
just the sport. It's not overall is what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sport and the season. Like, does it reset the following year? You mean?
Well, if you have
I don't think it
one in
resets.
football and then you have one in basketball, is that technically a second offense or a first offense?
No, I
I
don't
think
know.
I think it's.
I think it's
specific to the sport.
anything.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know.
And
That's
I
a good
think- I
question,
think so
though.
too. It is a good
good
because I'm
question.
sitting here thinking, I'm trying to figure out, what a season you must have had if you've stormed the field 3 times in one season. Holy smokes.
Well, look what we did in 21. We did it twice.
Well, what is
Twice,
Clemson?
yeah.
So I have that answer.
Okay,
So,
please. Because
So what happens is,
context,
no, for
give the
sure,
context, Greg.
and I'll answer Rusty's as well. So if for anyone that doesn't know, Clemson does this thing called meeting at the Paw after every football game, win or lose. So it's not technically storming the field, but what has to happen is the visiting team has to clear the field, and then they can come on and do their thing. So as long as there's no one, now
That's
this is where it's going to get muddy. This is where it's going to get muddy because if you the away equipment managers, and I know you did your equipment managing stuff before, Leighton, they're going to be out there still breaking down gear and all that. But I'm assuming that's the players and coaches and all of that. Once they clear, then I think you'll be fine. But
if I were a player, if I were a visiting player, I'd be that one salty player that just sat on the bench,
sat on
as long as I could, man.
Not let them on the field.
But and then Rusty is saying where will the fines go? It actually goes to the scholarship fund. So basically, and I don't know. What I don't know about that is if it goes to that school or it goes to the league and then they distribute the money. That part I'm not sure, but it does go to the general scholarship fund, from what I understand.
Interesting. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting how all that's handled. Because obviously I think schools have really, announcers, for example, game announcers, during the game itself, have tried to do kind of a better job of kind of asking fans not to go on the field. So now it's going to be a look how do we go the extra step now of really preventing? Because I mean, again, keep in mind that NC State forever made it basically impossible for you to storm the field. It was really only 3-4 years ago when we beat Clemson in 2021. When we beat Clemson, that was really the first time I've seen us actually storming the field in my lifetime. It's been a long time, man, since
because
storming the field.
The sideline
Right,
seats
so
are
high.
so
Greg, you know
high.
anything about that?
I know the thing about that. Thanks, Carson, for bringing that up.
On the end zone, it's very accessible, but on the sidelines, it's very hard.
Yeah,
but
that's why you put your student section there, right? So make it a little harder for them to. I think the other thing you have to do is you have it is illegal, it is a arrestable offense. Thank goodness. I guess they just felt sorry for me when I broke my leg. They're like, okay, we're not going to arrest the guy either because he's already got a broken leg. But I mean, it is an arrestable offense, and I think that's something that you're going to have to really enforce to kind of curb that. Again, people have to be made examples of, unfortunately, and goodness, I'm thankful that I wasn't. But I think that's probably much the only way you're going to kind of stop people from doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as long as the opposing team's on the field, though, right? That's the rules. So I think as long as they can get off the field.
Yeah,
I mean, that's I mean, honestly, and Greg, I'm telling you, man, that is a.
Why do you keep coming back to me about this whole field storming thing?
Listen, man, I'm just they call on the subject matter expert, and you are that, Greg. So But like, that is definitely that loophole for sure that I just wonder if more teams will try and take advantage of for sure. Like, especially for basketball where there's not a huge, like, it won't take long for the opposing team to clear out. So it's just like, hold, go, like, so
I saw somebody's comment that they should do like a timer, like set a new
that's what Clemson
clock.
does. Technically,
and it's like,
even though they never hold to it ever.
Yeah. But set a new timer on scoreboard, and then that would be electric too. Like, okay, 10 minutes, let the team clear out, and then the countdown, it's like 3, 2, 1, and then everybody rushes at the same time. Yeah.
That would be pretty epic. Yeah. Like you could get like the whole crowd just counting it down like New Year's Eve.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I guess because Carson kind of put it in our chat here behind the scenes. I wonder if there is a set time, or to the point is like, when they're done, they're done.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. We were doing the same thing. Yeah. So, Carson, we'll see what happens with that, man. Definitely it will be interesting to see what extra measures ACC schools take, but hey, listen, just give me a reason here. Let NC State football, put me in a position where I have to consider, or I have to figure out how we handle field storming. And
I think if we qualify for the ACC championship game, I feel like there's going to be a storm, field storming. I
it'd be worth.
I can't imagine, like, obviously you can't predict year to year, like if you're going to play a top matchup or whatever. But I feel like the one instance that it would happen for sure if and when we make the ACC football championship, we don't even have to win 12-0.
Or you go 12-0.
Yeah, if you go 12, but then at that point you're going to the ACC championship game too. But
yeah. Show me that day.
Is it worth $1,000?
Can you just imagine if we beat Wake, 4 years ago, and then Derek Pitts has that interception against Carolina, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to the ACC championship game," and then they storm the field.
Yeah. That would have been the reason you stormed the field, not like all the Carolina fans. What did you storm the field for a 6-6 team or whatever the hell it was?
Yeah. Whatever.
It's the manner in which you completed.
Don't be mad just because you couldn't get the job done. Okay, don't be mad.
With your best quarterback ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegedly.
And then a guy that comes in that's actually better than that one goes 0-2. Just saying. So.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're not, but we're not Tar Heel talk, right? So anyway, second thing that AC Commissioner Jim Phillips announced is that player availability reports will be required in football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball and conference games. In football, reports will be issued 2 days before games with updates 1 day before and on game day. A lot of this coming around, growing of sports gambling.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So I mean, we'll see what kind of happens with this. I think this is kind of obviously one measure of probably more to come in terms of trying to put a standardized process in place to help. I mean, here's my thing. Like, for example, prop betting, betting on, passing yards, receiving yards. Like, I'm actually surprised that hasn't been taken out yet, just, for college, but we'll see what happens with that. But Michael, what are your thoughts on this, this move?
Yeah. I mean, I never really cared, but I know a lot of people were,
you're not degenerate.
Like,
I was gonna say, there are definitely some for sure.
Yeah, outside of the gambling aspect, of course, if you're doing that, you would like to know. But I don't know. People would get upset when Dorn wouldn't release a depth chart for the week. I'm like,
one specific example I can think of that didn't necessarily happen in NC State, but my wife and I, as a South Carolina grad, we went to South Carolina versus Missouri last year, and South Carolina and Missouri was supposed to play without Brady Cook, their starting quarterback. So South Carolina was like a 13.5 point favorite, which at South Carolina, Lenore Sellers.com is red hot, no Brady Cook. Like, sure, that makes sense. Well, apparently, and so Ash and I after the game, spoiler alert, Brady Cook ends up playing the game. And so I was talking to, because we just happened to, we didn't plan on it, we didn't know it, but we just happened to end up staying at the Missouri team hotel. So after the game, I was talking to some Missouri, probably parents after the game, some fans, parents who were staying there, and they were saying that pretty much late, probably like Thursday or Friday, it was starting to come around that Brady Cook, was going to, because, Missouri's playoff chances were on the line, potentially, work through the injury and play the game. So, imagine if, player like, or a fan or, a parent or whatever knew before the game, because like it was
Who
never
won? Did
known.
Missouri win?
No, South Carolina did, but barely.
Barely.
Barely won by
so
one by a touchdown.
Yeah.
So like it would have been a home run plus 13.5 with Brady Cook.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
And so because like literally it didn't, because literally the first quarter I was sitting here going, man, why is South Carolina struggling so much versus second string quarterback? Come to find out, it was a first stringer the whole time. Like, so that is a perfect example of Layden. Why is this rule so big?
Well, remember
That's
when
one reason why.
we played Syracuse, and right before the game, like an hour or two before the game, that's when they said Leary was done for the year.
No Dorn gamesmanship anymore.
Well,
Are we the? Go ahead, Michael.
It just didn't make sense to ever release a depth chart if no one was required to release a depth chart.
Right.
So it's like, now everybody has to, and that's great. Yeah.
But are we the first? Is the AC? This isn't just? Let me try my words again.
This is brand new.
Yeah, I understand that, but this isn't NCAA wide. It's just ACC.
No.
Correct?
ACC.
I believe,
Are any other conferences doing this? Is the ACC the only conference doing this?
I haven't heard
And
any
then,
other.
and then again, my second part of the question, right? Is that just internal to ACC matchups? Well, because what if you play ACC, SEC?
It did say it is internal to
Conference
ACC.
games.
It is conference. Okay, good. Yeah, I just didn't have a chance to see all that. Thanks, Carson.
Yeah, well, and that makes sense because it would make sense for the ACC to have to do that, but the SC not have to do that, or asking the SC. Well, since you're playing ACC, that means you have to release game day reports, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to because I think again apples to oranges, but I believe the ACC was the first conference to institute the 3-point line, and those that only counted during ACC games like that year.
In the 83 season.
It was the 83 season. That's correct. Yeah.
So it looks like the SEC did the availability report last year, went into effect last year.
Okay.
And does not have it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that should just be an NCAA rule. Like, I just feel like that should be just especially like with the gambling situation.
Agreed.
But
yeah, whatever. So now the other big thing that's taken place recently is some new college football rules for this season. So there's a few of them, and so we'll start off with, in my opinion, the one that gives me the biggest smile, which is no more faking injuries. Thank goodness, no more crap. With that now it's a 5-yard penalty. So, kind of basically a slap on her with the timeout.
There's some caveats there. Yeah.
It's a timeout. And if they don't have any more timeouts, it's a 5-yard penalty. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's only once the ball is spotted. So like if they're in between, like the referee spotting the ball, you could go down with still a mythical injury. But once the ball is spotted, it is a automatic timeout for the team that's got the injured player. And if they have no more timeouts, it's a 5-yard delay of game penalty. So that's how it works.
So it's smart. It's basically like because there's no like referees have to decide, is he faking the injury? It's kind of like if you're injured, you got to go down right then and there. But like even if you're like wrist is upside down, and you go down after the ball is there, like referee saying, well, I'm per the rules, like this is a forced timeout. So I like that. That's a good way to do it.
Honestly, this is a start. I think this is a good start because you can still manipulate that system.
Sure.
Especially here's my thing. Again, I don't know when the radio transmission comes on, but you could relay the transmission. Hey, after this play, if they get a first down, somebody go down, right? Like you could relay that with a signal or whatever. So I honestly think that if you go down with an injury, you're out the remainder of that series. I just think, that could be an easy way to curb this, right? And look, if it's your quarterback, it sucks. Like, because unfortunately, sometimes you have to penalize everyone for one or two individuals. It's just the way it goes. But I think it's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous.
Yep. So, now next one, and Michael, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. So, the defensive delay of game. The defense cannot simulate a snap trying to get the offensive player to false start. Abrupt coordinated movements will result in a delay of game penalty for the defense. So this, so basically, this example right here talks about the Georgia defenses. Kirby Smart kind of, tries to mess with this ever so often. But basically, once the offense is set, defenses can't shift their defensive line to try and get the offense to go false start. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that, Michael?
Yeah, that makes sense. The simulating the snap, that's always, I think that's been, but yeah, doing moving the D line, that makes sense. And I think that's very fair.
But here's my thing though. And here's something I'm curious about, because the offense can kind of do something a little bit similarly where the quarterback can go hike. And as it goes hike, then a player can shift out, and that's completely legal, not necessarily considered a false start. Only reason why I know that is because when I was with NC State, we practiced a play like that, and I remember watching that going, that's diabolical. Because if I'm a defensive end and quarterback goes hike, and then a second later the tight end shifts out, it goes in motion, then man, who wouldn't fall for that? You know what I mean? So, but I get it.
Yeah.
So it just, in my opinion, the fake injuries is by far the more pressing one over that, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hell, you had two coaches almost come to a brawl last year with Illinois and South Carolina over it.
Oh yeah. Well, is that included in this?
That was the fake injuries.
Well, the big thing for the South Carolina.
No. I'm wrong, because it was a third rule. There's a third rule in there that you didn't talk about.
Not yet.
That's the one I'm confused. Yes.
So defense substitutions.
Yes.
So under last year's rules, if an offensive player made substitution, they would be required to wait until the defense has made their own substitutions before snapping the ball. Some defenses were abusing this, substituting slowly or running down the offensive play clock. Now the rule states substitutions must be done at an athletic pace. The definition of athletic pace is once again up to the referee's discretion. And if they deem it does not reach the standard, the center judge will be removed from the ball and the offense will be free to snap the ball. So I think, basically that's just okay, we're going to add a caveat for Brett Bielema, esque, substitutions.
Yeah.
Look, if the head
Tennessee
coach
did that against us last year. We got a delay game. Yeah.
I think we had one or two.
But if a head coach is really mocking the other team, doing the the defense substitution signal, that's probably when the referee should go, okay, I think this has gone too far. So yeah, I do think the South Carolina Illinois game will be like the Kenny Pickett AC Championship fake slide game, where it's okay, that's the point where it went too far. So
yeah.
And from what I heard, listening to some of the talk, it's going to be one up to the referee's discretion, right? And they're going to try to curb it on the sideline, hey, give them a warning, hey, you're doing this, you're going to need to pick up the pace, or we're going to let the play through, and you're going to be penalized for too many men on the field. I just think, again, you have to have some common sense when you're trying to make these decisions. But you give teams an inch, they're going to take a foot, and so you need to make sure that you're applying the rule equally on both sides, and that you set a tone early in the game and don't let them get away with it, and then it's out of control at that point, and you can't get it back. And that's the thing. When they when I was listening to this as well, they were talking about what was the quote, the term they used, athletic pace.
Athletic pace.
Yeah,
Athletic pace.
and so obviously a 300-pound defensive lineman's going to have a different athletic pace than a cornerback, right? And they're going to move slower in September than they are in November.
Sure.
Again, this is where that discretion comes in for the referees.
Correct. I think it just is not to say it's not like the first time that a substitution happens. If a player's, like you were saying, a defense tackle is going a little bit slowly, they probably won't throw it then. But if it starts to become a repetition where it's forcing delay of game penalties to start on the offense, okay, maybe this is that's really what this is. It's really not much. It's just like that extra leash, basically, for the referee.
But the other spectrum of it is the offense needs to get in and make your calls and get your substitutions going. Like this is, it is a quote unquote chess match back and forth. But totally. As an offense, don't put yourself in a situation where you allow them to make a late substitution and then you're behind the 8 ball because they are athletically moving, but it is a thing.
Right. True. So, now the biggest one, or sorry, not the biggest one, one of the bigger ones for sure that I'm actually a huge fan of, beyond just the fake injuries and the defense substitutions, is the new overtime rules, where now starting on the third overtime, so when the 2-point conversions basically go back and forth, each team is only allowed one timeout for the rest of the game instead of one timeout per overtime. And this is really coming off of
the Georgia game. I felt like
the Georgia Tech game, right? Yeah. Where every single time Georgia Tech would line up, Kirby Smart would call a timeout and review it. I mean, it was genius. I mean, for Kirby Smart's part, sure, why not? I mean, if you're given that freedom, and if you basically are losing it after each overtime, why not use it? So, and it worked out in his favor. So
that was like a 6-hour game.
Well, exactly. It really slowed down the game, and also too, in the new rules, it also prevents networks from running commercial breaks at that point too. So basically, once that third overtime starts, then we are live until this game is over. So, which I think from a fan perspective is nice, just because same thing. It's just like, all right, like it's high energy, it's edge of your seat right now. It's 2-point conversions back and forth, like keep the momentum going, So I kind of like it. But Carson, what are your thoughts on this new rule?
Yeah, I like it. It'll keep the pace going, and I think it's gonna help end games like that sooner. Because whenever a game goes to like 5 or more overtimes, it can really drag. Even though it is very entertaining, it is a drag at the same time. And I remember watching Georgia Tech last year, and my group chat at State, which is like 20 people in it, we're all just chatting. We're like, can Georgia and Georgia Tech just end already? I want to go to sleep.
Yeah. No, that's well.
I thought that game was like, I think it ended like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, if I remember correctly. It was a late game.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, how awesome though is it that happened during a rivalry game too, and on top of it too, how Georgia Tech was that close to pulling off a huge upset for sure. So
if Georgia Tech if Georgia Tech won that game, Georgia would have needed to win the SEC championship to make the playoffs.
Make it. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then there's some other rules as well. Clarification have been added to what is considered a valid fair catch call. Players receiving kickoffs would sometimes hold their arms out to the side, parallel to the ground, signaling to their team they were not going to return the ball. However, sometimes they would catch it and then take off anyway. So they would do that signal but still catch it and take off anyway. So like a fake, it'd be like a fake.
Yeah, where
almost fair catch.
This, and it's like,
correct.
Can't do that.
Yeah. So basically the rule declares that the action of holding your arms beside you parallel to the ground will now be considered a valid fair catch sign. So like that. Also in video reviews, the difference between a call standing and being confirmed has been removed. If the video review finds there is not enough evidence to overturn a call, they will no longer try to decide if there was enough evidence to confirm the call on the field. This rule was made in hopes to expedite the process, helping speed up games. So it's either yes or no. It's not stand, confirmed, or overturned. It's yes or no. So
that's all it should be anyway.
Because
all that other thing does is just creates more controversy. That's
right.
That's all it does.
Well, yeah, because if it stands, then it's kind of like that darn on-field referee. Like if you would have just done it the other way, then it would have stood in my way, you know? So yeah, agree there. Well, and then that's why, I mean, like they already were kind of moving that direction with the targeting rule where it's either confirmed or overturned, period. There is no stands on a targeting. So it was moving that direction anyway. So, I mean, I want to get your thoughts, Michael. I mean, this is definitely some pretty like significant rule changes for sure in terms of like it's not little things. They definitely stand out for sure. Like, you know, thinking about how games are going to be, like, you know, from a defensive substitution, like because again, we all like for each one of these, we could think of one big game where that rule made a significant impact on that game.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the point, though, that, you know, these are just rule changes to either speed up the game or, you know, make the game less confusing. So I mean, there's sometimes they get funky with the rules, but I think these are all pretty straightforward this year.
Yeah. So with that being said, I want to do a little bit of a fun segment here as we wrap up the show here. Is Greg brought to our attention here about 15 minutes before the live show that the American Conference is now the American Athletic Conference.
No, other way around.
Oh, sorry, it's the American Conference now, not the American Athletic Conference.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now the American Conference will have a brand new mascot named Soar, an eagle mascot, which I think, Greg, you're basically sending to us, like kind of laughing at that, and I think we all are being like, a conference having a mascot, interesting. So don't really get that, but you know, so I was like, you know what, let's have some fun here. And Greg kind of hinted at it, but I'm like, you know what, let's do it. So let's build like our perfect ACC mascot. All right. Now,
are we gonna be serious, or we're gonna like just be crazy with this?
We'll be serious. I mean, we'll give due.
As serious as you can get on a topic like this.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Syracuse Orange is like by far the ACC mascot, no doubt about it. No. So I'm going to give 4 different traits. Okay. You know, that make up a perfect mascot, and then I want to hear from the chat. I want to hear from y'all. Like, what do y'all think, you know, is the mascot? And I can kind of help. And I have a list here of the different mascots. So if we need help kind of remembering different ones. So the first one is audience connection. So, you know, so basically like what's a mascot that kind of stands out for y'all, and let us know in the chat too, from the ACC, that you feel like, you know, from what you've seen in person or what you've seen on TV and videos or whatever, that you feel like has a strong audience connection. Any initial votes come to mind? What
do you mean? Like in general?
I mean,
well, yeah, like you know, who's like always seen up there in the stands. That's always seen like you know, just interacting with the fans, you know, doing the push-ups, you know, like getting the crowd excited, like has a big audience like connection.
For the conference, though, that's like,
yeah.
The first thing I think of is like, so the ACC's headquarters still in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, it's in Charlotte now.
So like Charlotte, a pig. There's no pig teams. So like,
well, okay.
I honestly,
stealing the Hurricanes mascot.
Honestly, I just think it needs to be the shape of America at this point, because you have East Coast and West Coast,
and Gulf Coast.
Yeah, and Gulf Coast a little bit. Like I don't even know like how, like back in the day you had like the little geography map, right? You know, of the ACC schools, and like I don't even know how you would represent. This is kind of where I was going with this. The American Conference, like they took low hanging fruit. Let's be real, they made it an eagle. Like that's pretty low hanging fruit.
Yeah, American.
But we're the Atlantic Coast Conference still, even though you have teams on both coasts and like you said, you know, down in the Gulf area. I don't know how you represent that part. Like I had some funny jokes, like you could make it like a cigarette, like back in the day. You would
Tobacco red.
yeah, exactly. But I don't even know how
A
you
shark.
a shark. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Blue.
Shark.
Like the
Yeah, but then Notre Dame would like to have a word with you.
Yeah,
Because that's
I
the
just love
problem,
it.
right? Because you
No sharks in the Great Lakes.
We're not Notre Dame.
but you had Louisville. Louisville's landlocking. I mean, you
Yeah.
have the river, but
they're fine. Their mascot has teeth.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? It's always good when my idea of building the perfect mascot gets scrapped in mid moment. So,
well, what do you? I mean, like
like
you have to have like a body. Like, what are you making the body of it? Like,
well,
that's
no, again, we're not
first part
necessarily
of it.
talking about like, and we'll kind of get there. Like one of my other ones was going to be like memorable design, like a look that stands out. So like a Louisville Cardinal, with teeth, so memorable design. But like from an audience connection standpoint, like two that come to mind really for me is the Clemson mascots. Always see them. In terms of very active with the crowd.
I think you just make it a hoop at this point because that's all the ACC cares about is basketball.
That's true. That's a good one. Yeah. But I also wanted to get to the symbolic because one of the other ones is like symbolic, like, or tradition, like, which mascot. And so like for me, I was excited to bring that one up because obviously the first one that would come to mind for me is Osceola and Renegade. I mean, that right there is
that's a live one. I mean, there's their mascot looking one is stupid looking.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, like, and that's why, like,
so do you go live mascot or do you go furry stuffed animal thing?
Either go for it, man. Either way, man. Hey, I'd be like, like if you wanted to go Tuffy, like that would be 100% would have been 100% up for grabs in this. So, but hey, you know what, Greg, we'll stick with the basketball hoop. I like that. I think that's a good one.
Well, I think because at that point it's just a mockery, right? Because
totally
we don't take football as serious as a conference as we should.
No, yeah, which is why I mean I'm not necessarily pulling for Clemson, but necessarily because like I want us to beat them. I'd rather us go and than them. In terms of winning the AC championship, going to the college ball playoffs. But I mean, Clemson's going to be pretty darn good this year for sure. And so like if it ended up that Clemson did go on to play in the AC championship and win the AC championship, I would love nothing more than Clemson to go win it all, just to bring the AC a little bit back in the loop. Now I know obviously the whole conversation would be, oh man, like Clemson is carrying the ACC, but better that than SC.
So why don't we take that? Why don't we take that and make the mascot a number one? Not because we're the number one conference, but because we only get one team into the CFP.
Well, technically last year we had
SMU.
So, which also too I thought was hilarious how the SMU football coach today was like, yeah, I think we should have 16 teams in the playoffs. Like, heck yeah, like AKA okay, like you're looking for the spots. I get it, especially
that
since
just
you were
waters it down. Yeah, at that point you're going to have guarantees for conferences, and then why are you even playing a regular season? Why are you playing
bowl games?
Championship game, bowl game?
Yeah, bowl games.
Now you would keep more teams playing with their starters. Like I feel like you'd have less opt-outs, and then the transfer portal maybe. But again,
that almost didn't happen for Nico.
Yeah. But when would you you would have to start like the playoffs like what, the first, second week of December?
Oh yeah. No, and it would probably go to early February, probably. Like it would be a long playoff, to make sure that
you go from 16 to
themselves.
8. So 16, 8, 4, 2. That's 4 weeks.
Yeah. And
I don't think college football would really want their playoffs going on the same time as the NFL.
Yeah,
playoffs now.
Well, you saw that too, right, Carson? Like there was some overlap.
Mm-hmm.
There was overlap, but like the college football playoffs were going on at the end of the NFL regular season, so it was a bit different.
Yeah, but you still don't want the college football competing with the NFL. Like,
playoffs. Obviously, it's going to happen at some point during the
reason I say that is because in the NFL playoffs, you have games on both Saturday and Sunday, at least in the wild card and divisional round.
Right.
And so how are you going to compete with that at the college level? In in the regular season, it's usually just on Sundays, and then you'll have like a primetime game on Thursdays and Mondays.
Yeah.
Right. There's just more competing. You don't want you. I mean, I get it. You're always going to have a Thursday night game for college, and you're going to have a Thursday night NFL. But unless it's your team, like most people are going to watch the NFL over college, right? But if you're having college playoffs and NFL, either regular season or wild card, like people are going to tune in more to the NFL. It's just what it is. Like no matter what you want to do, like the vast majority of people, like I prefer college over NFL. Like that's where I'm at in my life.
Sure.
But again, from a revenue, because it's all about eyeballs. It's all about putting the broadcast in people's homes. That's what generates the commercials, which generates the revenue, blah, 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 blah. So you want to make sure that you maximize all of that for your sport or your league.
Yeah, true. So, we'll see what happens, especially with this year. But, now not having the AC champions be the conference champions be the top 4 seeds, I think that will, bring a little bit more, unfortunately, just with how last year ended up, it kind of was a little bit of a joke. Not necessarily saying that those teams weren't deserving per se or whatever, but just the fact that all 4 top 4 seeds lost in their first game was like, okay, well, that by itself basically made the case for that by itself. So, but yeah, so Greg, I see you rocking some NC State volleyball shirt, man. Love it.
Yeah, trying to. I need to get a softball. I don't really found like softball shirts, so trying to get them all. Yeah, trying to catch them all. Trying to give all the teams a little love.
Absolutely, let's go. Yeah, actually, NC State volleyball assistant coach is actually going to coach Team USA volleyball overseas. Actually, so huge shout out there. But yeah. So with that being said, so NC State goes to media day tomorrow.
Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
We're the last team to go.
Perfect.
Oh, we didn't talk about preseason rankings.
Going?
No. The state was picked 10th to finish in the league.
Oh, has that come out already?
That was the USA Today.
Oh, that was USA Today. That wasn't the official
media.
ACC. I got you. Thank you.
Okay. But, 10th. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that next week after the official ACC ones come out.
Yeah, and the 4 players. You know the 4 players that are going.
Yep, Justin Jolie, CJ Bailey, Caden Fordham, and Sean Brown.
Sean Brown. I thought it was Brandon Cleveland. Yeah.
Oh,
it's Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
In Cleveland. Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's my other thing too, which I laugh about is like, and it just goes to today's day and age, but also goes to kind of how UNC's handled this offseason. Is like, I don't know who the heck any of UNC's players are, honestly, that are going. Never heard of them before.
Their quarterback's better.
Yeah, quarterback. But I mean, I literally all 4 of those names, I was like, never heard of you, never heard of you, never heard of you, never heard of you. Yeah. So not necessarily like making that as a slight of the, like that's a slight, but not an epic slight. Not just saying like they're bums, just saying like it's just a completely brand new team that I don't know a single player on UNC's football team for this season besides Max Johnson.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
And they were picked to finish 12th in that USA Today poll. So,
but
I don't know.
But again, Greg, they're paying Bill Belichick $1 million a year to rebuild. Okay, like you got to
start somewhere. Look. As much as I want to give them hate, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a reason your coach got fired.
But you're paying him $10 million a year, Greg.
I get it. Look, as much as I want to hate on it, I don't see it working long term, but you do have to give them some time. Like,
well, I'm glad this isn't NC State talking here,
bro. I want it to fail. That's all I'm telling you is I
know
it to fail.
I'm just saying for my UNC my like 3 UNC friends out there. No,
I have none. So
I know, like hearing from them. Yeah, no, exactly. But especially too the $10 million a year plus all the crap they've been dealing with Jordan and the wearing Navy shirts. Like it's like I'm dealing with a lot right now, and I'm paying you a lot. Like you know. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. So you know,
I think
anywho.
they have like a $70 million investment in this whole thing. I think from between the NIL,
new grass,
yeah.
you know, for their field, you know. So
well, at least it'll be safe. No one's going to be storming it. So
and also too, now we can plant flags. Now the flags will actually go into the ground.
That's true.
So Ben Finley, you know,
but we won't
now.
be playing there this year anyway. So we'll have to give that another year. The grass should be real good by the time we go back there.
Yep, 100%. So, anywho, so with that being said,
did I come back better now with my hate? Was that better?
Absolutely, Greg. I love it.
Going back to the mascot.
I asked
ChatGPT. It's actually not bad.
Okay, let's go.
I'm ready.
Their proposed ACC mascot, Ace, short for ACC, Ace the Blue Heron.
Blue Heron. What does it say? Why?
Native to the Atlantic Coast region.
But again, you need a bird that's migrant. It needs to be on both sides.
Yeah, picture too. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but a basketball jersey, I was right.
Basketball jersey, of course.
That's pretty good.
I was on the right track.
Well, and also too, like it's the colors of the AC logo, blue and white.
Blue. Yeah, I get it. It's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not the worst.
It said number 14 for the 14 ACC schools, though. They got to update that. But
ChatGPT, you need some work, buddy.
Let us down.
We have 16, like pretty much in every sport. Yeah,
17, and then
so
18 when outside of
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I was talking about Notre Dame. Yeah, so that's why it made it a basketball jersey, since Notre Dame doesn't play football in the ACC as a member, just as a visitor.
Yeah, just as a visitor.
That was so funny that it was wearing a basketball uniform.
Yeah,
freaking nailed it.
Yeah, hey, you know, you and ChatGPT are locked there for sure, and we all are. I mean, there's no doubt about it that basketball is king in the ACC.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though, man, the SEC, man, they're getting deep for sure at basketball for sure. So,
well, they won the national title this year. I mean, that's pretty good right here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, but anywho, so any final thoughts here, y'all, before we wrap it up?
We're getting closer.
We're getting closer, man. No kidding. Well, with that being said, Wolfpack, go ahead, Michael.
Next week will be under a month, right?
Yeah, we'll be at a month. Next Monday will be at a month.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think, Carson, I know you know this better. I think we're gonna get some real games here really quickly, like soccer and some of these other sports. And
soccer starts, I think, 2 weeks before football, and then volleyball, I think, is a week beforehand.
No, it's the week of.
Okay.
For the first official game, like I think they'll do some exhibitions, but yeah. So we're less than a month away from actually having real NC State counting sports. So
yeah, because soccer always starts like the week, like the Thursday before classes begin.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yep. All right, Wolfpack Nation. With that being said, appreciate everybody tuning in. You know, always fun to get on here, talk all things NC State, especially again closer and closer to the start of NC State athletic season. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, if you haven't already, make sure if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you haven't already, and let us know in the comments too as well. What's something you're very excited about here for the start of NC State football season? You excited for that ECU matchup? You ready for us to kick UNC's butt once again? What are you most excited about? And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor, leave us a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate that as well. It really helps out the channel. And make sure to give us a 5-star review on Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But with that being said, y'all, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all soon. And as always, go Pack, y'all.